Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party, the parading of colors, the singing of our national anthem, and the invocation. Staff, attention. Bosun, post aside, boys. Rear Admiral, United States Navy, arriving. President, Naval War College, arriving. Chief of Naval Operations, arriving. Bosun, retire the side, boys. Color guard, parade the colors. And salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Petty Officer Nina Church, Navy Band Northeast, will now sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we'd hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we'd watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet
Retire the colors.
Forward, smile.
Ready, two. Commander Douglas Rosander, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy, will now offer the invocation.
Let us pray. From Psalm 90, Lord, you have been our dwelling place throughout all generations. Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. Father in heaven, we ask for your presence and blessing this day, as command of United States Naval War College is passed from Admiral Christenson to Admiral Carter. Thank you for Admiral Christenson's faithful service at the Naval War College over these past couple of years. His love for the Navy, this institution and its people, and our great nation. Thank you for all who have supported him with hard work, making the War College a place where the mind is challenged by academic rigor and the heart is enriched by new friends from around the world. And as Admiral Carter takes the helm, we ask you to bless him with wisdom, vision, and heart to provide great leadership to this institution. May he and his family feel a warm welcome to Newport. Now we ask for your blessing upon Admiral Christenson and Teresa and their wonderful family. May they take many fond memories with them as they look ahead to new challenges and adventures. In your holy name, amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the 53rd President of the United States Naval War College, Rear Admiral John Christenson.
Good morning, CNO. Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Roberts, Chief Justice Chase Rogers, Naval War College, Naval War College Foundation, Newport Friends, ambassadors, admirals, generals, fellow commanding officers, members of the class of '81, the Carter family and all of their friends, the Christensen family and all of our friends. Welcome to the United States Naval War College, and thank you for coming. A special thank you to those of you who traveled great distances to be here with us today. You honor us by your actions. The Naval War College is the oldest, and we believe the best, war college in the world. Today you have all been invited here to Spruance Hall, named after our 26th Naval War College President, Admiral Raymond Spruance, to witness the Navy's time-honored tradition, the change of command. There is no more powerful indication of the importance of this college to the United States Navy and to the United States than the fact that the one and only Chief of Naval Operations is here with us today. It is my honor to introduce our Chief of Naval Operations, our CNO, to you today. A native of Butler, Pennsylvania, Admiral Greenert graduated from the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis in 1975 and completed studies in nuclear power for service as a submarine officer. His career as a submariner included assignments aboard the fast attack submarines USS Flying Fish and USS Tautog, the research submarine NR-1, the fleet ballistic missile submarine USS Michigan, Gold Crew, and command of the fast attack submarine USS Honolulu. His other major fleet command assignments included Commander, Submarine Squadron 11, Commander, U.S. Naval Forces Marianas, Commander, U.S. 7th Fleet, and Commander, U.S. Fleet Forces Command. Prior to becoming CNO, he served as the 36th Vice Chief of Naval Operations. In 1992, he was awarded the Vice Admiral Stockdale Award for inspirational leadership of USS Honolulu. He assumed duty as the 30th Chief of Naval Operations on 23 September 2011. 23 September was the same day John Paul Jones said, "I have not yet begun to fight." CNO, thank you for returning to Newport only 11 short days after being here for graduation. for leaving your tremendous responsibilities in Washington. And thank you for allowing Teresa and me to serve and lead here at this wonderful Naval War College on your watch. Our CNO loves his country, his family, his sailors, and he loves the Navy. He is brilliant, hardworking, and happy. And he has been the world's best CNO. Ladies and gentlemen, our Chief of Naval... Ladies and gentlemen, our Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Jonathan Greenert.
Now, you all know John Christenson. I just insulted him to think that he would do anything for money that he didn't absolutely believe in from deep down in his heart, as we know. Some of you may say, he says, well, gee whiz, he came back up here. Some of you are saying, this is like a bad penny. It keeps turning up up here in Newport. And any time I can leave my what do you call it, great responsibilities in Washington, I will. It's great to be here as usual. And you know, my string of beautiful days, every day I've been up here, and I've been up here quite a bit, I think, over the last 2 years, but it's always been sunny, even in the winter and today. And I think it's just because John's leaving that the angels are weeping as we say goodbye to John Christenson. But I'm very honored to be here today, and I mean that very much. Madam Lieutenant Governor, it's great to have you here. And Jim Hogg, I guess the kids are out there working really hard. You take a break, and that's good to know because I know you got them snapping too. Admiral Barrera, Anna Marie, it's always good to have you here. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence here today. We have two great leadership teams turning over today, and I'm very excited with having the Christenson family and the Carter family here. It very much is a family event. And that's the part about what we do, those of us that serve and get the honor to lead. It's the humanity of it. This is a great institution, as Admiral Christenson alluded to. It is the greatest war college. And if you don't believe me, count how many times the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and Army officers are up here hanging out versus Carlisle. And it's kind of interesting. Because it is a great institution, one that leans forward and one that does a number of things. And I'll talk just a minute about it. But first, this Christensen family. Teresa, an amazing balance of a mother and a spouse here with the three children, Grace, Tim, and Matt. Wonderful to have you there, here, either way. And of course, the Carter family, Linda, who we met a little bit this morning, Christopher and Brittany are here, and Allison, Ted's sister Allison and brother Philip are here. But I need to ask, if you're a Carter or a Putnam, raise your hand. Thank you. Rhode Island's native son has come home. You all are actually lucky to have a great Navy band up here. I know Carl, the director, we served together at 7th Fleet. How about a hand for the band? They did a wonderful job. And some people sing the Star Spangled Banner, and they do these little inflections up and down and over. And I just love it when somebody will come up and sing the Star Spangled Banner as it was, I think, meant to be sung, straight through and to the point. Madam, please stand while we acknowledge you. Well, this is indeed a special and unique institution, as I alluded to. We educate leaders here through, I think, three pretty much primary means. The history of conflict. I mean, that's what we're about. We are here to win wars if we have to. And that's what your Navy has done for years. We are out there. We need to be where it matters, and we need to be ready when it matters. And the history of conflict, our folks come here to study. But also, they come here to understand the current concepts. What is current? How do I keep up with what is new, what's happening in our world today? They come here for that. And strategic thought. People who leave here have the tools to go out and about in and around the Navy and joint community and do whatever and think strategically to take this Navy, this nation, this military where it needs to go in the future. 3 very important items. It enables the development of, I think, informed leaders who then become confident leaders. And if you are informed and you are confident, I, for one, expect you to be bold and lead us into the future and make the right decisions. And it takes a committed leader to be at the helm, to drive this through. Somebody with passion. And that's the only time I'm going to use that word, because passion's over here to my right. You all know that. That was his nickname. I think it's his confirmation name, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm honored to pay tribute to 2.5 years of, I won't say the P word again, dedication to this institution. Talk about an extraordinary leader, active in so many ways here with the college, somebody intelligent, with compassion, innovative and patient, someone who leads and we strive to follow. And if you all know the Christensons, you know I'm talking about Teresa. As John would say, she is my better half, she's full of laughter, dedicated to others, and she loves sports. And like many of us, this man married up. We know that. We know that. Teresa has touched many lives. She's the flag advisor to the Command Spouse Leadership course here and the Newport Spouses Club. She is a friend and supporter, has been, of well over 200 international spouses assigned to the Naval War College during her tour. All this while a mother of 3 wonderful kids. She's the optimal parent. She's caring, and heaven knows she's married to you-know-who. She is patient. Terrific partner throughout this tour, but we've known, Darlene and I have known Teresa and John for quite a while, and she is renowned in this wardroom, our wardroom, as a spouse leader. Teresa, please stand while we can give you a small token of our appreciation. Thank you so much. So she's got a spouse. He's doing okay. And he's led this college through some very, very dynamic times. Odyssey Dawn, which was the Libyan campaign, during that period, this war college supported operations out there. I mean, real operations, people out there advising and involved in those operations. We've been through a full year plus of fiscal uncertainty, and during that period, John has positioned this institution to deal with that future and provide the best return on investment for the money that this school can provide. We are rebalancing to the Asia Pacific. That is in progress. That will continue. And John has aligned this school to support that. This is really the bedrock of a lot of thought, a lot of strategic thought on how we do this. You don't just send a bunch of stuff out there. You got to balance, a rebalance, if you will. Northeast Asia is very different from Southeast Asia, is very different from East Asia. And there is a school of thought here that does very well, developing what we call the intellectual capital and understanding partnerships and the value therein. He's certainly the right person for the job here, and when we sent him up here, he moved out. There was no, in fact, he didn't even ask for any guidance, which was kind of irritating, but that's okay. He took off, and we said, so how you doing? And he told us, and it was actually very good. We liked what we got. His personal involvement clearly demonstrates his intentions. John has never been one to say, okay, go do this, and then not be there to see it through. That's in his ethos and the way he is. He's refined this curriculum very much around leadership. It's just not get people schooled. It's to develop leaders, as I spoke earlier about, the right kind of leaders. And there's a balance that one has to have in life. We call it work-life balance, and John and Teresa, they describe that. They actually live that. They epitomize it very much. John has effectively and easily said he's kept the main thing up here. Now, he's put together during his tenure a strategy which I think is extraordinary, and it lays it out in very simple terms so that we in Washington and the fleet understand what are we getting from this institution. One, we educate future Navy leaders. Many are here for the first time since college. In some cases, when they may have done some distant learning. But to come here to read, to think, to discuss, and then to lay this down, to write, which is, trust me, it's a skill that is hard to find, and one that still has to be nurtured here, critical skill here. A Navy leadership development continuum was born here and will flourish here and will continue as we keep a strategic focus on developing fully prepared leaders, people with character and with an ethos that is proper for the times that they're going to lead in the future. It's the education of future leaders. Second, he has ensured that warfighting readiness is another bedrock in this institution, and it's for the future Navy. I like to call this the fleet's petri dish. New ideas are brought up here for wargaming, for development, for discussion, for tabletopping, where we can think things through here and then take them out to the fleet rather than just shooting them out there without any real coherency. This is a great place to do it, and John has brought that along through the Strategic Studies Group, the Mahan Group, Halsey Group, and the Gravely Groups. Wargaming and studies inform how we fight, and the wargaming that's coming out of here is puts together an after-action report you can hand to somebody. They can look at it and say, I think I know what to do with this, as opposed to somebody needs to do another study. It's relevant and it's capable for today's force. Lastly, international engagement. We will not do it alone in this world that we live in and in this future that we will all take part in. Partnerships are not only important to success, they're essential to success. And there's a coalition at every operation that we'll have in the future. It's important to learn how we're going to work together. And I tell you, folks, at the crisis, that's not the time to go look for trust and confidence. You have to nurture this well in advance so that you can pick up the phone and call somebody, an international friend, and somebody that you probably met at this Naval War College. I am astounded as I go around the world, and I've had the opportunity to meet my fellow chiefs and that, and they proudly wear. It's always on the uniform. Trust me, there's a lot of badges around this world. This one stays there, and that's the badge of the Naval War College Command Course that our international folks attend. And they talk to each other. They come back here to have reunions, and that's how we're going to get things done out there in the world. And this is a natural place. Education of future officers, the warfighting readiness we need today, international engagement. That's the strategy, the foundational strategy that John Christenson put together here. So the role here remains important and relevant. And I want to thank you, John, for doing what you did to get us on a good course and a good speed here as we move out into the future. And you've set Ted Carter up, I think, very well. I want to thank you, a little token of our appreciation for what you've done. Please join me up here at the podium.
Staff, please rise for the presentation of award. Military guests, attention to award. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Distinguished Service Medal to Rear Admiral John N. Christenson, United States Navy, for service as set forth in the following citation. For exceptionally meritorious service to the government of the United States in a duty of great responsibility while serving as President, Naval War College from March 2011 to July 2013. Rear Admiral Christenson brilliantly led the Naval War College through an exciting era of extraordinary curriculum enhancement, strengthened international engagement, and revolutionary advancements in leader development. A tireless advocate for educating leaders, he emphasized the critical importance of supporting the study of past, present, and future wars, provided unwavering support to the faculty, and maintained the Naval War College's reputation as the nation's premier war college. His personal involvement and leadership ensured global support to the warfighter, including direct support to Operation Odyssey Dawn in Libya, prompt and sustained assistance to Navy fleet staffs, and fulfillment of numerous multi-service requests for collaboration. Rear Admiral Christenson's enthusiasm and inspirational leadership stimulated War College innovation, broke new ground in Navy leader education, expanded and fortified international maritime partnerships, and increased support to fleet operational level training. By his superior leadership, wise judgment, and deep devotion to duty, Rear Admiral Christenson reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. For the President, Ray Mabus, Secretary of the Navy.
Please have a seat. Again, thanks, John. You know, the good news is we got a good leader coming in. As I said, Rhode Island's native son. And I interviewed and looked at a lot of records because this is a very important position here. And Ted Carter, as they say, knocked it out of the park when we sat down and talked. This is the guy I want up here. He's a visionary, like John, the person he's replacing. He's got a great family. He thinks he's balanced, and he's done great things in his career up to date. He commanded a Tomcat Squadron. He commanded the USS Carl Vinson, the Enterprise Strike Group, and the Theodore Roosevelt Strike Group. He has led what we called Task Force Resilient. And what that means is we needed somebody to come in and sit down and study very closely. Why are people committing suicide in the Navy? What is with this? We've been looking at this for a long, long time. We got tremendous insight from not only that, we didn't solve it over, but we got tremendous insight. And we figured out through Admiral Carter, what is it about the resiliency of our sailors that we may be missing? How do we pull all this together and make sure they understand how much we really do care about them? There were a lot of people doing it. And he put that into a coherent and clearly defined program that now we'll take forward, and it's reaping fruit already. So this is the right place for Linda and for Ted. Someone who's wholly committed to the institution. He will sustain this War College as our finest and most relevant and develop the naval strategists for the 21st century. Welcome aboard, Ted. Welcome, Linda. It's great to have you here. So in closing, I thank you, John. I thank you, Teresa, for your love of this institution, and it really shows. And it's shown every place you all have gone. So we're very honored to have you here. To the faculty and to the staff at the Naval War College, I thank you very much for developing our leaders, for making this the petri dish for the fleet. We know where to go when we want to think things through. I look forward to coming back in October to the International Sea Power Symposium, where hundreds of our friends will gather up here, and they're very much excited as it all builds up. Thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. God bless you all. God bless our Navy and our country, the United States of America. Have a nice day.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the President of the United States Naval War College, Rear Admiral John Christenson.
Thank you very much, CNO. I love the Navy. I love this college, these professors, these officers, these chief petty officers, these blue jackets, civilians, contractors, the city of Newport, and my wonderful family. These past 28 months have truly been a dream come true. Thank you, one and all. Lieutenant Governor Roberts, thank you for being here. Thank you for how hard you work for Rhode Island. And thank you for Rhode Island being such a wonderful home for the Naval War College. Chief Justice Chase Rogers, Connecticut is blessed to have a woman of your character and intellect as Chief Justice of their Supreme Court. And the Christensons are blessed to have you and your family as our friends. 4-star Admiral Hogg and beautiful Anne, real friends to the Naval War College who continue to give and give to the Navy they love. Admiral Hogg leads the CNO's Strategic Studies Group. Beat Army, Admiral Hogg. And thank you and Anne for all you have done for Therese and me during this tour. 4-star Admiral Barrera and beautiful Ana Maria, former CNO of the Colombian Navy, our CNO Distinguished International Fellow, a man of towering integrity and faith. He has not just changed the Naval War College, he has truly changed me and my family forever. God bless you, Admiral. Naval War College Foundation, Chairman, General Steve Sider, Vice Chairman, Mayor David Gordon. Notice they all have 2 titles. Executive Director, John Odegaard. Trustees, Richard Bohan, and I don't see Mary Gilbane, but I thought she was coming. Thank you for your relentless leadership and support. Lieutenant Colonel Rick Kunkel and Ann, typical Marine, displaying monumental effort to celebrate with one of your old lieutenants. 4 of my 36 years in the Navy, I have worked for United States Marines. We had Carl Marlantes here, the author of the New York Times bestseller, What It's Like to Go to War. There is a harrowing scene in this work of nonfiction where a Marine Corps CH-46 on a near-suicide medevac mission balances his rear wheels on a jagged cliff while hovering freely forward. under fire, and courageously waited as the wounded Marines were carefully loaded. I said to myself as I read it, that was Colonel Kunkel. And if it wasn't, it could have been. Brother Admirals and Generals, Glenn Whistler, Robin Waters, Scott Jones, and Ken Perry. You're out here. You're not sitting together, but welcome. Cousin Herman and Molly, thank you for coming. We have both come a long way from cruising in your Gremlin in the mountains of Pennsylvania. You run a multi-million-dollar business, and I'm an admiral. I think what we have in common is that we both understand it's really about taking care of our people. We lost your father, my Uncle George, this year. 5 Tiger cruises with me, he went on. George won the Penn State Distinguished Alumni Award, and he made good on a promise he made as a teenager. President Roosevelt's letter said his big brother Bobby's submarine, USS Wahoo, was overdue and presumed lost. Well, Uncle George found Wahoo in 2007. Mayor Harry Winthrop in the city of Newport, thank you. Ann Hewitt in the Newport Navy League, thank you. Where are you? Thank you. Captain Doug Mkhitaryan in Naval Station Newport, thank you. World's best neighbors, thank you. Chapel of Hope friends, thank you. Colleen Bigelow, Dave and Marcia Monroe in the wrong seats. All my old SWAS friends, thank you. At Sea shipmates, Ted O'Hanlon, Tom Calora, Pat Melenda, Mike Fiero, Jamie Kelly, George Lang, thank you. Teresa's dear friends, Bronwyn and Admiral Dan O'Fillion. What great friends you are. Classmates, Tim, Vicky, Mike, Jim, Don, Dave, Ruth, Bud, Bob, Dave, and Jim. Welcome. Got a twofer here today with a couple 81ers. Special personal thank you to Professor John Jackson. Personal thank you to Mr. Kelly Williamson and Senior Chief Ariel Luna. Best friend, Richard Ocaldi. Where are you, Richard? Only one. And my family. Dad, Mom in heaven, Kathleen, Robert, Donnie, Joe, and Carolyn, Pete and Jane, Mark and Amy, Kathy and Jim and Kevin. Well, most of them would have been here, but my dear 84-year-old dad is taking all of us on a Disney cruise this week, and it was planned and paid for long before we knew today was coming. To our faculty, you are the engine room of this war college. I tried to change the culture in the Navy from believing that the reading is only hard if you do it, to read every word and you will be changed forever. I am extremely proud that your curriculum is regarded as the most rigorous of all the joint professional military education institutions. Our second president, John Adams, said, "I must study politics and war that my sons may know peace and liberty." Know that your life's work is valued and appreciated here. To our staff, you have been outstanding in every way. I'm confident that your hard work and commitment to doing things right and always doing what is right will be confirmed later this month when our 10-year IG inspection occurs. To Master Chief Wallace and his Senior Enlisted Academy, and Senior Chief Pearson, and all our CPOs and Blue Jackets. The reason we are the greatest Navy in the world is because we have the best chiefs and Blue Jackets in the world. They are unlike any other for bravery, technical competence, work ethic, and love of adventure in the face of heavy weather. I never forget where I came from. My dad's oldest brother, George, earned a Purple Heart in the Battle of the Bulge as an Army enlisted man. My mom's oldest brother, Bobby, also earned the Purple Heart when he died in combat in the Pacific as a first-class fire controlman. Dean Garofano, doctor, professor, we just hung a medal on you last month for your deployment to Afghanistan. As the leader of our mission to educate leaders, you have been superb. Your Mike Sherlock just executed another world-class current strategy forum, and his worth to this college is incalculable. Your Bill Spain is another shining example of a Marine. He is the most highly regarded scholar of joint professional military education in our country, and every day he brings credit to the War College. Your John Maurer, David Cooper, and Al Abramson, wow, what a team of scholars. The ultimate in leadership is to be known as hard, but be the place everyone wants to be. It's not easy to do, Dean Garofano, but you have achieved it. Well done. Dean Barney Rubel, as the leader of the mission to help CNO define the future, you have been our venture capitalist of ideas, and you have made us rich. China Maritime Studies Institute, the cooperative strategy for the 21st century, a world-leading international law department, world's best wargaming department, Halsey, Mahan, Gravely Scholars, War College Press. It just goes on and on of world-class excellence. Your Professor Will Bundy, one of the Centennial Seven, is a national treasure and has cut an intellectual leadership swath as far as the eye can see. Dean Jamie Kelly, to quote you, "We love you, man." Your leadership of the College of Operational and Strategic Leadership has been relentless. If the Navy said we needed more planners, you and your team produced them. If the Navy needed to educate warfighting admirals, you and Sleeps Finley's team did it best. If the Navy said leader development is too important to just let happen, you and your team built the plan from scratch. You outsourced nothing. You built a broad-based team across the Navy that is not feeling threatened, is all in, and you built it by the sweat of your brow, visit by visit, phone call by phone call, and that beautiful child is just about to be born. Your Martin Cook, John Meyer, and Alenda Johnson, Stockdale scholars, better keep their ammunition dry, because not only did the C&O win the Stockdale Award, but Admiral Carter did too. And Teresa and I owe you and Amy a special lifetime debt of gratitude for taking us around your Japan on one of your triumphant returns. Finally, Dean Mangold, you lead the fourth and final mission to build global maritime partnerships, like Jamie Kelly, hired on my watch. Those two hires alone allows me to depart Newport with my head held high. Your captains, Yaw and Turner, continue a long line of officers who pour every ounce of their life into the lives of the international officers who come to Newport for the year. Tom, you are truly leading while taking it up a notch on operational planning skills, integration, and rigor, while retaining the confidence and relationship building that has made your program the best of its kind anywhere. Chief of Staff, Bill, you are a hero to me. You and Stephanie are a great team, and Teresa and I will miss you. Fair winds to you as you also head overseas to the tip of the spear in 5th Fleet. Flag Sec Jay Brewer and Flag Writer Soros, thank you for your professionalism and your smiles. Karen, Rick, Vero, Jen, Jag, Beth, BMC, Doc, Chaps, Carla, Gigi, Jerry York, John Hattendorf, Dave McComb, Carnes Lord, Sally Payne, Toshio Shihara, Tom Mankin, Westfloor Award winners, everyone, truly thank you. Flag Lieutenant, Lieutenant Kelly Anderson, thank you for everything. Destroyer officer, rescue swimmer, incredible leader to the culinary specialists and barge crew. You and good man husband Tim are expecting little Jane this month, and you haven't missed the tiniest detail. If you're half the mother you are, naval officer, Jane is a lucky little girl. Great nations have great navies. Great navies have great institutions of learning, and they also have great music. Thank you to our Navy Band Northeast and their rock star leader, Carl Gerhardt. If I want to get myself choked up, I just think about him learning Baba O'Reilly by The Who for the command picnic a year and a half ago. Try learning that with a 41-piece or stage organ. It is hard to say goodbye. The good news is that I'm turning over the War College to Admiral Ted Carter, classmate, married to beautiful Linda. Teresa and I did our best to make you feel welcome to the college and to the neighborhood, and to already be moved out of quarters AA. To your parents up, it's a good house. To your parents, Ted, up in heaven, congratulations. I know you are proud of your son. You should be. He's a good man and a great naval officer. To you, Linda, welcome to Newport. You will love it. Fair winds and following seas, Carter family. Good luck and God bless you. Teresa, best friend, Coronado girl. We have loved this Navy adventure together. We have been to Hong Kong, Paris, Thailand, Vienna, Berlin, Hawaii, Toulon, and Tokyo. Lived in Newport, D.C., Boston, Texas, Norfolk, Coronado, and next up is a big first, overseas to Brussels, Belgium. We've also been blessed with 3 wonderful children, Grace, Tim, and Matt, who are here today filling their dad with pride. Shakespeare. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers, For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. There are so many reasons I love this passage. The English at Agincourt, like the United States Navy at the Battle of Midway, were not supposed to win. Achieving these incredible victories was made possible by inspirational leadership and courage displayed by the warriors Henry V and Wade McClusky. King Henry tells his men that dying with him that day would make a common man royal. The United States Navy took a man like my poor farm boy dad and made him royal to me. I am one of 6 brothers. Admiral Nimitz said the best commands are also the happiest. When I commanded the guided missile frigate USS McClusky, I competed head-to-head against destroyers with 100 more sailors. We were the few. The final line is Henry V's observation that I love to quote, and it also confirms the final of our CNO's 3 warfighting tenets, the one about being ready. Others may command fleets of ships and aircraft, and some today even command fleets of cyber warriors. But it has been the highest honor of my 36 years in uniform to command the United States Naval War College for over 2 years. I was privileged to command the United States Navy's most important fleet of mines. Band of Brothers describes the camaraderie that exists between those who serve their country together and are often asked to die together. So I will end my remarks by reading Henry V's speech to his men just before the Battle of Agincourt. The English are at the end of a long campaign, fighting in France. The French have sent enormous, fresh armies to crush them. The English are fully expecting to die. King Henry tells them they can go home. He'll pay their way if they don't want to die with him. The speech begins with one of Henry V's commanders, Westmoreland, wishing they had just some of the men at home in England that day to help them. Westmoreland, oh, that we now had here but 1/10,000 of those in men in England that do no work today. King Henry V, what's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? No, my fair cousin, if we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will, I pray thee wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my coz, wish not a man from England. God's peace I would not lose so great an honor, as one man more, methinks, would share from me. For the best hope I have, oh, do not wish one more. Rather proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall see this day and live old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow is St. Crispian. Then he will strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispian's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot. But he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. Then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall ne'er go by, from this day to the ending of the world. But we in it shall be remembered, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he ne'er so vile. This day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, while any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's day. Salisbury, my sovereign lord, bestow yourself with speed. The French are bravely in their battles set, and will with all expedients charge upon us. King Henry V, all things are ready. if our minds be so. I will now read my orders.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Military guests, attention to orders.
From CNO, Washington, D.C., subject, CNO Order 1343, change of duty orders for Rear Admiral John N. Christenson, USN. When directed by reporting senior, detach in July 13 from the U.S. Naval War College, Newport, Rhode Island. Report not later than July 13 to Brussels, Belgium, for duty as Deputy United States Military Representative to NATO Military Committee. Chief of Staff, haul down my flag.
Aye, aye, sir. Senior Chief, haul down Admiral Christenson's flag.
Haul down Admiral Christenson's flag, aye, sir. Sir, Admiral Christenson's flag has been hauled down.
Very well. Admiral, your flag has been hauled down.
Very well. Admiral Carter, I am ready to be relieved.
I will now read my orders. CNO Order 0843, when directed by reporting senior, detach in April 2013 from duty as Commander, Carrier Strike Group 12. Report not later than July 2013 for duty as President, Navy War College. Sir, I relieve you.
I stand relieved. CNO, I've been properly relieved as President of the Naval War College by Admiral Carter.
Very well. Thanks. Well done. CNO, I have properly relieved Admiral Christenson, and I've assumed all duties as President, Navy War College. Chief of Staff, break my flag.
Aye, aye, sir. Senior Chief, break Rear Admiral Carter's flag.
Break Rear Admiral Carter's flag, aye, sir. Sir, Rear Admiral Carter's flag has been broken.
Very well. Admiral, your flag has been broken.
Very well.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce the 54th President of the United States Naval War College, Rear Admiral Ted Carter.
Admiral Greenert, distinguished guests, family, and friends, I am truly excited, humbled, and I've never been more proud as a naval officer than at this very moment. CNO, thank you for this opportunity. I am forever grateful. To my brother, Rear Admiral John Christenson, John, it's what an honor it is to follow you. I know I'm coming in to fill big shoes. Both you and Teresa have been fabulous in the turnover. You've done such a great job here at the War College. John and I have known each other for 36 years. This July 7th, 1977, when we were inducted with many of our classmates here. And it's a thrill to follow you here at the Navy War College. Both you and Teresa have been fantastic leaders and great ambassadors to the state of Rhode Island. And we wish you all the best. You're going to do great at NATO in Brussels. Obviously, I have a lot of friends and family here, and some have traveled great distances. So please bear with me so I can recognize just a few folks. But first and foremost, to the Navy War College Foundation, in particular Major General Steve Sider, United States Army retired Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Navy War College Foundation, and all the other members of the foundation. I really look forward to working with you and finding out exactly what you do. For the Navy Band Northeast, Lieutenant Commander Carl Gerhard, inside baseball, I used to be in the band. My wife said she would have never married me if she had known that. But I am really appreciative of what you do and excited to have you on board. For all our community leaders that have already been recognized, especially as the host city of Aquidneck Island, the largest of the 35 islands of Rhode Island, and their appropriate cities, Newport, Middletown, and Portsmouth. I look forward to working with everyone here in the years ahead. First, I want to start off with my supportive and loving family. My lovely wife, Linda. Linda Carter, you obviously probably jumped right to the Wonder Woman thing. It's really true. She even spells it the same, and yes, they have met, and it's probably the only reason she really married me. Our son, Christopher, and Brittany, who traveled from Colorado and Utah to be here with us. My sister, Allison, a lifelong teacher herself who came down from Maine, and her daughter, Maggie, getting ready to take the bar exam. Great to have you here. My brother, Philip, and his wife, Debbie, and her mom, Mrs. Heskin. Great to have you here as well. It's pretty special that we're all together. We don't get together that often because we're from all four corners, but it means a lot. As John mentioned, my parents passed away quite a few years ago. They're here with us today in spirit. Representing on my mother's side, I saw my Aunt Sylvia come in, and I'm so grateful to have you here, one of the Scanlons. Great to have you here. On my father's side, 9 brothers and sisters, many of them cousins all represented here, but the eldest, Uncle Don and Elizabeth, great to have you here. Special cousins Sandy and Roland, awesome to see you here. And all of the Putnams, of which there are also a couple hundred of them, but Ken and Madeline Putnam, the senior Putnams in audience, so awesome to see you here. A lot of Navy classmates, John mentioned some. Best man at my wedding, promoted me to Admiral Bob Schultz, and his wife Michelle came from San Diego. Captain retired Bud Womer, awesome friend and classmate. And a special shout out to Dave Mutzenbaugh. Now, a lot of you may know Mutz. He was a Navy helicopter pilot, got out of the flying business, and after 9/11, he decided he needed to go back in and signed up with the Army. So he's now a Chief Warrant Officer flying combat Army helicopters. So awesome, great to have you here, Mutz. My Naval Academy sponsors, Professor Barry and Ann McCowan from Edgewater. My Navy hockey coach, Steve Gordon. Now, a lot of you know my call sign is Slapshot. Steve Gordon will give you the inside baseball on this. In my junior year, I took a slap shot once, and he told me if I ever did, I'd be benched because it really wasn't all that hot. So I've been called that forever since. A couple of F-4 fighter pilots, Mike Rowland, call sign Rawhide, and his Jill came out from San Diego. Tom Pyro Hendricks and his wife Suzette. Pyro was a Top Gun instructor. Great to have some of the first gentlemen I ever had a chance to fly with in the audience. I have a special relationship with my Burrillville High School classmates, some from the class of 76 and some from the class of 77, my class. They've been to most every change of command, going all the way back to my fighter squadron. Ace and Judy Farrell, Kevin and Lori Menard, Jim and Debbie Dandino. Thanks from the class of 76, Sally Fleming. I think you've been to every change of command I've ever had, Sally. It's awesome to have you and your son Matt here, the captain. Great to see you here. Sharon McDonald Davies, Richard Menard, Holly Sutherland, and your kids. Chuck and Mary Jean Boucher, Scott Thatcher, Mike and Donna Bussell. I don't think Donna made it today. Billy and Brenda Shepard, the doctor, Don Dion. Our neighbor from the riverfront down in Suffolk, Virginia, Mike Hopkins is here. Former Navy supply officer who is now a lawyer to the senior leadership of Maersk. And Mike, thanks for making the trip. Mr. Ted Van Horn, I don't know if Ted made it here. Okay, Ted, this is the first time I've ever mentioned your name in a change of command, and you've always given me a hard time because I've never put in any of my bios that I actually went through nuclear power school and graduated. This is the man that got me there. He was my instructor and prototype, and I'm forever grateful. You did way too good a job. We have a couple other special guests, Rear Admiral Bud and Pam Langston. Bud Langston's a lifelong mentor of mine, a hero from Vietnam, and also a hero from Operation Praying Mantis. So welcome him. Rear Admiral Blues and Marla Baker was one of our chaplains in the Navy and was chaplain on board Truman when I was XO. Great to have you here. Chuck Bradbury, I know you're out there. Chuck and his wife, Julie. Chuck was the mastermind behind the plan to close the Joint Forces Command, so don't talk to me, please talk to him. And we do have one other special guest that I want to mention. Last night we happened to go to the O Club like any good fighter guys, and Mr. Bob Schultz, who's a Naval Academy prep school graduate, ran into this young gentleman who's sitting next to him over here, Captain Ned Schumann. And sir, if I could ask you just to please stand up very briefly so everybody can see you. Captain Ned Schumann was 5-year POW with Admiral Stockdale and Senator McCain. He flew his 17th combat mission off the deck of Enterprise, when he was shot down. He went on to be the commanding officer of an aggressor squadron and the CO of Annapolis, and we're just thrilled and honored to have you here with us today, sir. Now, as some of you may have heard, I am actually a proud native of the great state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. I grew up in a small but productive mill community in the township of Burrillville. My mother, Dorothy, taught English at Burrillville High School for over 30 years, along with some fellow school teachers here, Barbara Sarabis and Nancy Velatico, who taught me history. Both are here present today. My father was a loyal Rhode Island state employee for over 35 years, bringing computer technology to the state. He put the state payroll on computer as well as all the state legislature. But many of you here in the audience may have known him as a hockey player, way better than I ever was. He was taught by the great Tom Eccleston of Frozen Pond fame. He skated with legends like Mike Levitt, Buzzy Bove, and Jimmy Egan. His wife Nancy is here with us today. If you are from Rhode Island and have spent any time here in the state, you know that if you're commuting for more than 15 minutes, that's considered a significant road trip. As a young lad, the few times I did actually venture away from Burrillville, it was during my youth when Linda and I were first dating back to the summer of 1979. She came up to visit my parents from Baltimore, and I thought, what a good thing I would do. I broke out the map and I found my way down here to Newport, Rhode Island. Now, anybody that knows my mom will know that she gave me quite an earful because I really didn't know my way to Newport, and she was wondering what I was trying to do to press this young lady. Well, I don't know if it ever worked, but here we are. We're going to be married 31 years this July, and we're back to where it all started here in Newport, Rhode Island. So we are truly excited to be here. I'd like to just spend a couple minutes here. The CNO talked a lot about what the War College is doing, what John has done with it. I feel like I owe, for the staff and many of you here, my view and the way forward for the War College. First, I want to say my highest commitment to you, our world-class faculty and staff, is to continue to respect the institution of the Navy War College and the values we stand for. We as a team will promote higher-level thinking and critical writing by continuing to educate tomorrow's leaders. We will protect the mission of the War College through creative innovation, in-depth analyses, and rigorous computer-based tabletop gaming, as the CNO had referenced before, all the while embracing the military transition our nation will require us to face in the next decade. The War College is the Navy's think tank for our leadership. We are enablers in formulating the theoretical foundation for our military's policy and strategy directions. Providing our commanders with new ideas and innovations, we are known as the Navy's home of thought. And John, you had a lot to do with bringing that title. That's a big title to carry, and I intend to make sure we continue to earn that prestigious banner every day. I intend to expand our efforts in developing and enhancing our joint and international partnerships to produce outcomes that are effective in solving the challenges that no one Navy or nation can do alone. I want each of us to actively seek out the finest and most innovative minds, both inside and outside our fleet, to help create an atmosphere where their thoughts can flourish. I want all of us to strive to give the highest priority to producing superior research, analysis, and thoughtful, influential scholarship and writing to help shape our military services for the future. Make no doubt about it, I intend to lead you on an exciting journey to set the conditions to provide the future military strategists of a new generation, as the Navy War College has certainly proven itself over the years with legends from Mahan to Spruance, to Stockdale, to Sobrowski, and Stavridis, who just retired yesterday. Our future strategists will need to understand the past, but bring new and fresh ideas to ensure and guarantee our freedom and democracy in the 21st century. Finally, I will strive to build on the War College's unparalleled legacy of excellence. Every student attending the War College during my tenure will produce exceptional writings and solution-oriented ideas. They will understand the concept of risk and how to apply it in order to win in combat and to preserve peace. Our students will return to the fleet as polished professionals ready to lead our navies and nation's joint military. I am honored to serve as your 54th president. I look forward to the opportunity to serve with each and every one of you as we continue to shape the future of the 21st century by doing what Navy War College does best, and it's on the program, educating leaders. May God bless each and every one of you and your families, as well as our sailors, soldiers, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen who are on watch everywhere around the globe today, protecting the very freedom that we enjoy here this morning. Thank you all very much. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, thank you for your presence with us today. Please grant your blessings upon the Christensons and the Carters for the new challenges and wonderful opportunities that await them. And Lord, please be with all those who stand watch around the world this day for the causes of peace and justice. Strengthen, encourage, and protect them and their loved ones. And may we all look to you each day, knowing that you have promised to be near to all who call upon your name. Through the one who saves. Amen.
Please remain standing for the departure of the official party. Bosun, post the side boys. Chief of Naval Operations, departing. Rear Admiral, United States Navy, departing. President, Naval War College, departing. This concludes today's ceremony. Guests are cordially invited to quarters AA for a reception following the ceremony.